So imagine how deplorable it looks in the eyes of our ancestors to see their children going about completely selling out, completely doing the worst. America is worse. Each time they want to do something against Africa, they have more to recruit from. Like the Linda Thompson or whomever is ambassador at the UN currently. She got the nerve, the audacity to threaten Africa.
The U.S. ambassador to the United Nations, Linda Thomas-Greenfield, has warned Africa to be prepared for the worst if it continues to harbor economic ties with Russia. Linda stresses that there are some red lines Africa should not cross. The United States is having grudges against the possibility of Russian oil arriving in Africa. According to Africa News, Linda said, countries can buy Russian agricultural products, including fertilizer and wheat. If a country decides to engage with Russia where there are sanctions, then they are breaking those sanctions. Africa could face consequences if they trade in US sanctioned commodities such as Russian oil. She furthermore added, we caution countries not to break those sanctions or else they stand the chance of having actions taken against them. Recently, Africa has become a hotbed of activities that Biden White House might deem alarming. More and more African nations have started to embrace Moscow's presence within the continent, setting the warning bells ringing in Washington. The West has not fared well in the Ukraine conflict. It has lost its image, prestige as well as reputation among the developing nations. Seeing this downfall, the Biden administration has now resorted to its bullying tactics. It is now issuing threats to weak nations in the African continent.
So this is what they do with the children they stole from us. They use them as a weapon. So when the world is seeing, but it's an African in America threatening her people back home. But the world doesn't know the brainwash that has been put on those. But the world is just sitting there and laughing. Such woman could never have any honor. This is a slave in broad daylight. This is what happens when a group of people lose complete connection with their ancestors, when they lose complete connection with their source. She's telling the people in Africa who are trying to break free from the grip of slavery. She's suffering slavery in America because that's the only time white people dare give them a job, when they're ready to use them as a weapon against their own. Like Obama was used as a weapon against Africa by murdering Gaddafi. That Linda Thompson or Thomas, whatever her slave master name is, she's currently at the UN. She looks like a perfect slave to begin with. They love to pick them dark, right? And she's there threatening our fathers, threatening our leaders, telling them that there will be consequences if they don't line up. But this is the result of slavery. That's why when they murder our people in America, the world doesn't dare do anything, because they have many of our children broken to that point, completely broken. They deploy each one of them, and our children are they seek that validation, they seek that approval, they seek that love from the white people. They're ready to sell an entire continent. I want some people to tell her how ridiculous she looks. She looks like a complete slave. The type the white people were drawing in their books. We used to call that character a bambula, that stupid character. That's exactly how she's looking. The African countries, okay, she's looking for something to talk about. What she needs to do, Linda Thompson, whatever her name is, she needs to talk about America instead of talking about bribing African leaders to side with them against Russia. What she needs to do is tell her masters, okay, these are not even her former masters, with the kind of jobs, the kind of attacks she's launching on Africa. You know, have her tell her masters to take that money they're trying to bribe our leaders with and give that money to our people in a form of reparation. She needs to speak up for the people, but no, she's there being a complete slave. Linda Thompson, or whatever, however you call her yourself, you need to really refrain from threatening our fathers and our mothers on the continent. Miss Thompson, I mean, you want to be a bona fide slave, because that's the only time your masters are willing to give you a high rank position, is when they're ready to deploy you as a weapon against your own people. But let me just tell you this, Miss Thompson at the United Nations, since you are not going to bring up the fact that the people you serve, your masters, okay, I'm a descendant of one of the kingdoms. They massacred the people, the kings and his court, and took the children into slavery. And you, as black as you are, you come from that voyage. But I understand the beating on your person had been so severe that you lost complete track of who you are, Miss Thompson. But one thing I would like to advise you to refrain from doing is refrain from threatening anybody in Africa, okay? Not because you fail to realize that as the first black woman to sit on that seat, you are being used as a whip against your own people. I'm sure you're intelligent enough for you to know what you're doing. But at this point, I believe you have just made your choice, right? It has become very clear as to who you choose to serve. But I have a little problem with it. We don't have to follow anybody. We are the generation who know what the truth is, okay? Nobody sold nobody. If you are a woman, okay? If you are a black woman, because I heard blacks don't have a culture. I trust black people. Even them have a code. If you have some kind of code, the simple fact that the black people who look like you in America came from Africa. Okay, so Africa is their home base. Okay, apparently you're looking for something to talk about. Okay, apparently you are bored at the UN and you need an assignment. Stop acting like a slave, going after our fathers on the continent, threatening them. You look so African, you look so black, it's ridiculous. Even if you were one of those who want to deny us, claim that you are indigenous of that land, you can't dare do such thing. You look so African, but you look like an enslaved African who comes out and threatens her own people who are trying to break free, her own people who are trying to remove European knee from our neck, and they send you, they dare give you a job to come and threaten us. Now, Miss Thompson, if you know what is best for you, refrain, let me just tell you, refrain from threatening Africa. The reason why they're using you people, let me tell you why they're using you people, because they tried us. They're full of curses. And if you want to be your master's tool, and that goes for any of you out there, the Secretary of Defense, that big black guy, and any of you entertaining the thought, the idea to go after Africa, to go and invade Africa, to go and drop bombs in Africa, let me tell you what's going to happen. The curses of your masters are going to be yours. They finally have realized that they are cursed to extinction. Their race has been condemned in the Supreme Court of Heaven by the Creator, Tatanzambe, the God of our ancestors, the God of the universe. That's the sentence they're facing. Have you ever wondered why their homes are so loveless? They could live in the best houses, but they're not happy. They are always numbing, always drugging, always, their marriages, grow loveless. And when they grow loveless or they go broke, people start dying around them. Now, it doesn't matter who go missing. Spouses, children, name it. Have you ever wondered why their paradises always turn into nightmare? These people will go on vacation and come back crying. There's no amount of money that could make them happy. Do you know why their aces, their best sons, their firstborn are usually rendered useless? Do you know why no matter what they give to their women and children, they never love them? Do you know why their life is the way they are? Because tons of curses have been spoken against them. And when we come and we kind of observe, we take a good look, we're like, oh my God, yes, it's really working. So guess what? Their curse is going to become yours. Should you stand on the way and mess with Africa? Wherever you're going to go, the sun, any of you coming in contact with the sun will start fighting you. To wherever you go high, if it's night, the moon will fight you. The ground you walk on will fight you. Grass will cover the rooftop of your house. You will be covered with shame. Wherever you go, you will be shamed. Since money is money you love so much, money will run from you and all your lineage. That's what's going to happen to you guys. So Miss Thompson, either you go and talk about what is really important to the black community, okay? You sitting there, I'm sure you can ask the Commission of the Human Rights to investigate on the biggest case of human trafficking ever perpetrated in history. The millions of Africans that were trafficked out of Africa into the America. If you are a black woman, if you are a woman, unless you are a slave, okay? Let me give you an agenda of the things you need to worry about. Let me give you an agenda of the things you need to talk about. You need to talk about the millions of children of Africa that were trafficked into the Americas. And until today, the continent of Africa and the descendants of those slain kings and queens are yet to receive an apology from the governments that did that and benefited from the trafficking of their children, are yet to receive reparation. They want to bribe Africa. All the money you people are getting ready to pay to your puppets in order to twist their arm to side with you. Take that money and pay it in a form of reparation to our children in the diaspora. All of them. Call Elizabeth. Let her gather her people, gather the money to pay our children in the Bahamas, in Jamaica, in Trinidad, wherever they have our people. Call them. Stay away from Africa. If you know what is good for you, talk about paying reparation to the biggest case of human trafficking. Okay? Our children in the diaspora, all of them, because if America decides to pay reparation, British gonna pay reparation. These are the things you need to talk about, but as good slaves, like Democrats love to have you guys as slaves. That's what Democrats do. They put you in the plantation. They call it Black Obama to bomb Libya. Now they're calling you to come and threaten us. We are the generation who decide. We are going to choose our partners. We are going to choose the people we trade with. We are going to choose the people we work with. It just has to be on eye level this time. Nobody is nobody's slave. You may want to remain your master's slave. That's not the case of everybody, Miss Linda Thompson. So please refrain from threatening our fathers back at home. You think you look tough, barking threats at Africa. I hope you care for your children, because the kind of curses that are going to fall on you guys, the curses of your master shall become yours. That's what I know, and that's what we're going to call into existence. That's what we're going to decree in all of you people's life. That's what is being decreed as you go barking your threats. because your master is telling you, go bark them. But what you guys seem to forget, a weak Africa is going to translate to return to slavery for the black in America. Chinese are respected because China rose. China became a power. What America would hate to see is a bunch of Chinese leaving America to go to China and become Chinese and help their government. As long as you people maintain Africa weak, they're going to kill you on the street like animals. They're going to continue doing the worst to you guys.
Ngningone